Hey guys, hey gals, hey friends, hey enemies, hey everybody, whoever you are that take time to come and visit me and listen to my videos. Um, I want to thank you for that. It's after 10 o'clock and I'm worn out. I'm just literally worn out. And you can tell by my voice that I'm not feeling very well. I've had a severe migraine for about, I don't know, it's been about 3 or 4 days now. And I can't seem to shake it. And I'm not sure if it has to do with the pollen and the pine trees and just the nasty, yellow gooky stuff that we have to deal with every year. And I had actually gone to the doctors about 2.5 weeks ago, I guess, and got some medication, antibiotic, and some nose spray and some other stuff to try to help because I was just feeling so bad with whatever sinus, and my head's clogged, and then all of a sudden my nose will start running, and then my head will clog up again, and it's just a losing battle right now, and I'm a little frustrated with the whole situation. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having migraine headache, and I've been eating Excedrin extra strength like candy, taking it 2 tablets every 6 hours based on the dosage that they tell you. It helps alleviate a little bit, but not much. So if my voice sounds a little weak, I'm sorry. And I hope that what I have to say um, this evening will be received with grace and with respect. I know that since um, the situation was brought to my attention, a couple days have passed since then. And I know there have been some new videos out based on the given subject that I'm going to talk about tonight. Um, uh, I do know for a fact that, some other things have been said and addressed by some other people. I've had a few videos sent to me through my Facebook PM, and I haven't had a chance to watch them or to look at them yet. I find if I watch too many videos, you know, back to back or whatever, my thought processes become scattered and I'm not able to retain my thoughts as to what I would like to say or address with regards to those particular videos. It all becomes a big blending of you know, uh, of, you know, confusion because I can't remember. I remember something was said in this video and then something was said in that video, and I get confused quite often, and I'm not ashamed to admit, as I'm watching some of the other videos, I will actually write down my thoughts. I'll stop, pause the video, and I'll write down maybe a thought that occurs to me based on the comment um, that I heard or that is being said. And as much as I like to try to go to the lives, I just seem to miss the live videos quite a bit. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm not I'm not attentive, or I don't get the the notification that a video is being done live or whatever. And so I ended up having to watch the videos after the fact. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. But and maybe this video may or may not be downloaded for y'all to listen to, depending on how well it goes, because like I said, I just don't feel real good. But I wanted to address the fact that I have never claimed to be anybody special in the YouTube community. I am just someone who's just starting out, and my videos are basically about my life and the daily events that I experience. And also, I do have my reborn babies. And so I feel that I may or may not qualify to be part of the community, as everyone keeps, referring to. I may not be as informed as I need to be. I'm not an artist, so the other day I was listening to Sam's video. I might as well just say Sam. I don't usually like to mention names or whatever, but um, and one of the thoughts that occurred to me was what qualifies someone to be considered part of the community? What are the qualifications? Do you have to be, a seasoned artist to qualify in the reborn community? Or do you have to be someone who is, or can I be, qualify as in the reborn community, um, as part of the community as a buyer of reborn babies? I mean, it's people like me, and I may get off in left field here, and y'all just have to forgive me. I'm sorry. And like I said, I really feel really, really, really bad, but please bear with me, and I hope I don't offend anybody and make anybody upset. Um, but this video has been on my mind for a couple days since I watched Sam's video. Like I said, it's been a couple days, so she may have already made another live video since then, but the one I'm referring to is the one that she mentioned in the live. She had said, if I homespun, if you're listening to this, and she mentioned specifically me, and made her point, and then said, basically, not really rudely, challenged me to come back with a video if I felt I wanted to um, lend input, to what she was saying. And so it's been on my mind for a couple days, and I actually listened to the video several times. Um, and now I'm starting to get distracted because I'm getting off in left field. But um, I was thinking about one of the questions that came to my mind was, am I qualified to be part of the community? I mean, I've been buying reborn babies now off and on for about, it's doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's been 5 years, if not, give or take. You know, I think I bought my first reborn 5 years ago, and I have sold some reborns and I've purchased reborns, but I wanted to point out to a lot of you artists that I have always held in the highest of esteem, because it does take an extensive amount of time and money, to make these reborns. I mean, this was all new to me. I mean, I had never had anything to do with baby dolls, so to speak. Even as a child, I never had dolls. It wasn't that I didn't like dolls, I just never had an interest in them. It just, but I know what goes into making these reborns, and I highly respect and value the time and the effort and the money and the heart that goes into making reborns. But I wanted to say it's people like me that keep the reborn business alive. I'm sorry. I mean, it is true because I purchase, I'm a consumer. I buy reborn babies. I have bought, you know, brand new babies. Um, my being the first mommy that they've had, first time, brand new, freshly painted, babies. And I've also purchased secondhand babies or babies that were boo boo babies, maybe, and handed down from someone who disregarded the beauty of the baby and just didn't treat it properly and stuffed it with a dirty sock or whatever. I've actually had that, happen to one of the babies I purchased one year. I think I paid $80 for her, and it was a AA baby. She was beautiful. But when I first got her, oh my God, I was just like, what have I done buying this baby? But, I cleaned her up. I didn't repaint her. She needed to be repainted, but I didn't repaint her. But her hair was very authentic for a baby of color. It was a girl, a female baby, and she was really pretty by the time I got done with her. But I did end up selling her. But she really was a cute baby. But I said all that to say, getting off in left field, it's people like me that support the cause, you know. So do I not merit some sort of respect and a little bit of affiliation, so to speak, in the community, or is it just exclusive to artists? I mean, do I have to be an artist to be considered part of the community? Or can I be a consumer and share the love of Reborns and, talk about my babies and, show them off and whatever? That's just a random thought that had nothing to do with Sam's video. Um, but there were so many thoughts that went through my mind listening to your video, Sam. And I wanted to point out that you felt that I had left out some very pertinent information with regards to um, how I felt when I went to your live. You basically felt that I had left a negative impression on my presence during your live. When you were made aware that I had just left bloggers live. But let me just say that I do apologize for um, possibly lending the false impression that I was treated rudely, or if I left the impression that I was treated in a disrespectful or, you know, kind of a cold sort of way. Um, and you felt that I needed to clarify myself and indicate that when you understood, you know, my motive, then you had a change of heart very quickly, and you toned it down and said, oh, okay, I understand where you're coming from. And you basically you were telling me in your video, and along with other things that you were talking about with Jen and the cigarettes and all that jazz, that I had omitted. I had the sin of omission. I did not clarify all the fine tuned details of my interaction during your life when I came into the room. I like to say when I stepped into the room. But it was unintentional on my part to give the false impression that I was treated um, undignified or disrespectful. I would not say that those strong terms did not apply. But let me just say, um, in defense of myself, I was a little bit, my feelings were hurt a little bit. But what, let me just say, I went online And a lot of times, like I said, I miss these lives. And I end up having to go back and watch them after the fact, which I really enjoy listening to your live, Sam. Okay, from day one. Um, and of course, Jen. Okay, both of you, and especially Jen, has admitted, you haven't been doing this for very long. I haven't been doing this for very long. So naturally, when I started watching Jen, I fell in love with Jen and you were best friends. And so I made it a point to get to know, to take time to go to your channel and get familiar with you because I like Jen and I thought, well, if I like Jen, surely I'm going to like her best friend, which is Sam, which is you. Okay? But all this mess that was going on, I wasn't wanting to get involved for the drama and like the word drama, the D word. Oh my God, that's been so overused according to your conversation that you had the other night. Um, it started out with a comment and it just blossomed, if you can use that term, because it really wasn't a blossoming. It was an invasion of just negativity and ugly. It just went from a wound into a cancer. And the true process of what was causing this discord became diluted and was no longer the issue. It started growing into something else, a cancer. It just spread. And so in the end, the bottom line was, well, what started this anyway? What was this battle with Blogger and this battle with Jen and this battle with Sam and what in the world, what what started this, and what started it became irrelevant because it went from bad to worse. And it was, name calling and the Hitlers and the what do you call it, the nasties, and then you know and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to put Blogger down. I'm just saying, this name calling stuff, everything was becoming more and more involved and darker and uglier and more confusing. And also, and because I favored and supported you and I supported Jen, I was when I make a commitment to care for someone or to show interest in someone or to support something, I'm going to go all the way. So, with all this garbage that was going on, and not being the seasoned, you know, presence in the community, it was, I was kind of confused as to, what was really happening. But I didn't appreciate that you and Jen were being persecuted. It was obvious that you guys were being targeted, and in my commitment and faithfulness and learning to love and appreciate your channel and Jen's channel, I was I took up arms. I said I'm going to defend, what I believe is correct, and I'm going to defend what I believe is appropriate, um and I could tell that there was one side that was just, it was rambling and rambling. And then you and Jen, when you would discuss the situation, there was clarity and truthfulness. And I could tell that, I was definitely on the, um, I don't want to offend anybody, but I was clearly supporting what I felt was the appropriate and cause, the clarity of what you and Jen were dealing with and expressing made sense to me, and I supported y'all. Okay, so I don't even know if I'm making any sense. I'm probably not even making any sense because probably have no business even making this video, but whatever. I'm doing it anyway just because I want to hurry up and just get it out of the way and, express, like I said, that in your opinion, Sam, you felt that I laid a foundation of negativity and misrepresented, um, you know, by omitting some facts about the conversation. You felt that I just gave false or the negative side of the situation, and I didn't bother to share and divulge that, hey, Sam finally came to the realization, okay, now I understand why you were doing what you did. I might have been wrong for not uh, going into further detail, you know, but I want to tell you, I went to the computer. Blogger was doing a live, and I thought to myself, I'm going to now just excuse my terminology, but this is just, I don't know what you girls call it, and I've been told, I don't know. Some have insinuated that because I'm older, my outlook is just too old fashioned, or I'm just, outdated, or I'm behind the power curve, or I'm out of the loop. But I'm sorry, I don't feel that I'm out of the loop because when I saw a blogger was on live, I decided I'd had enough. I'd had enough. You talk about standing up and defending what's right, okay, and sticking your neck out and taking a risk of offending and becoming a target, okay. You didn't know, of course, all the facts behind my motive. So I partially understand why you felt, um, and I'll go into that. But I went into bloggers uh, live, stepped into the room, and it was towards the tail end of her live, and I made it clear that I wanted to know why. Why was this battle? Why was this feud continuing to just go on and on and on? And was there not some way to have conflict resolution, or some way to come to a meeting of the minds, or some way to just bring a sense of um, understanding without being disagreeable? And to disagree without being disagreeable. You know, I literally asked Blogger when I stepped into the room, what is the deal? But my goal when I went there, I wanted to find out what was the topic of their conversation. Were they going to bash you? Were they going to bash Jen? So I was kind of like maybe started out as, I guess y'all call it trolling, when you step into a room and you don't participate but you just watch everything. I don't even know, I could be wrong. And I think that's a derogatory term because I think sometimes when you step into a conversation, sometimes you need to kind of sit back and just watch and read and see what's going on before you start making comments. So if that's trolling, I'm sorry, but I went into the room, I read a few comments, and I decided to tentatively say, hey, why are y'all so hard on Jen and Sam? What in the world? Why can't y'all come to some kind of an understanding? And but one of the things that Blogger did that absolutely surprised me, and a lot of people are like, oh, don't trust her because she'll turn on you. But she made it clear when I walked into that room that her clan, her friends, whatever you want to call them, okay, the enemy's camp, if that's what y'all want to call them, whatever. I'm not saying they are at the enemy's camp, but I'm just saying the opposing side. She told those girls to let me have my space, let me have my say. She wanted to hear or read what I had to say. She gave me an opportunity to voice because in reality, Blogger didn't know me from Adam. And I was somebody new, and she had heard me or had seen several of my comments that made it very clear I supported Sam and Jen 100%. Okay. And she said that to the group of girls. She said, now she's very much supportive of Sam and especially Jen. La la la. Let her speak. Let her have her say. She told the girls not to like jump me, I guess you could say. I don't know the exact words. I'm not as eloquent in with words like you are, Sam, and I don't remember word for word everything, but I can give you a general content of what was said. And Blogger basically stood up and said, "Let her have her say." So the other night when I was watching Jen's video and she talked about going into the enemy's camp, I thought, well, that's what I did. I made my presence known. And there was a girl there, I won't say her name, that I know for a fact she bumped me out a couple times because she did not like that I was there. She was sneaky about it. She bumped me out. Even Blogger didn't know I had been bumped out because she thought I had left the room, just left the room. And that was after I had made it clear to them. I said, "Can't you guys just lay down the sword?" I literally remember using that term. Lay down the sword. Just stop thrashing each other. Stop it. Can you not come to some kind of a resolution? Can there be some sense of peace, some sense of agreeing to disagree? But let's just get past all this. That was what I did. I said no matter what, I support Sam and Jen 100%. Okay? And Blogger said she appreciated my maturity. She appreciated how I conducted myself when I made my comments. She appreciated that I didn't get all sassy or whatever. I try to be diplomatic. I try to be a mediator. The very thing that you, Sam, said should have been done from, to begin with these women, that have been um, bullied and harassed. You said during your video how, these women need to stand up and you're going to stand up and you're going to fight the cause. Okay, well, first of all, nobody asked me to be the knight in shining armor for you, Sam, or for Jen. Nobody asked me. I took that upon myself. I chose to do that. I chose to go into the so-called enemy's camp and jeopardize my well-being and made my presence known and expressed to them how I felt about the situation and that I did not like what was going on. I didn't like that Jen was being bullied. I didn't like that you were being bullied. Why was this necessary? And Blogger asked her clan to receive what I had to say with grace. They may not have agreed with me, they may not have liked me, but like I said, there was only one girl in there that kicked me out a couple times. And I just ended up going out of the room and going back in again and continued my conversation. Well, suddenly, somewhere during that live with Blogger, someone made the comment that you were live. Well, here's where my um, sentiments about feeling uncomfortable when I went to your live, Sam. Here's why I felt right away vulnerable and misunderstood. Okay. I did not say that everybody jumped me I did not say, that I was treated with ill respect. I said that bloggers group treated me with respect. But when I found out on blogger site that you guys were having a live, I said, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to step out. I didn't just step out and just disappear. I said, I'm going over to Sam's live. And why did I want to go to Sam's live? Because that's who I support. And you're a priority. You are a priority over and above Blogger. Okay, I said my piece at Bloggers Live. She allowed me to do my thing. She was gracious. I dismissed myself politely and stepped over to your group. Well, guess what? Before I could even hardly get in the room and let you know that I was there, or before I could even make any kind of a comment expressing to you, someone in your life, I don't know who she was, I don't care who she was, I don't hate her, I'm not angry at her, but I felt that it was very childish in that she beat me to the draw and ran, so to speak, over to you and was like, oh, Homespun is over there at Bloggers Live. Homespun's over there. And right when you found that out, I stepped into the room and I felt there was, um, you were dismayed. You were like, what? Which I understood because, first and foremost, you don't know me. You didn't know what I was doing. You didn't know my motive. I give you credit for that. But um, as many times as I've made it clear how much I support you and Sam, or you and Jen, excuse me, you you weren't rude, you weren't disrespectful, but I felt put on the spot right away because your little friend, whoever she was, tattletaled basically and ran over there and was like, oh, Homespun's over, was over at Bloggers. And what it did is it kind of caused you to have a what moment. And I stepped in and you had what I call a knee jerk reaction. And I understand why you did. I mean, because you were like, what? What in the world? Why would she be over there? I mean, I can only imagine what you thought. But I felt some kind of way. What it was, I'm not going to say it was you were rude or disrespectful, but or anything like that. And I apologize if that came out that way. I did not intend for that to be taken in the wrong light, but there was a sentiment there that was a slightly negative in that I felt like I had my hand caught in a cookie jar and I had done something wrong before I could even express to you, which I was about to do, but your little friend or whoever she was ran over there and tattletale. Well, I want to know, how does she know I was over at Bloggers Live? If, I mean, was she over there as well, like scoping out their situation, but just was doing the trolling thing? Was she attending Bloggers Live and yours at the same time? I mean, what's the game? Is she sitting on the fence? Is she gleaning information from Blogger to run over and tell you, and then getting information from you and running over and telling Blogger? I mean, what was the deal? Why did she feel that she had to run over there and like inform you in a negative kind of way? I felt like it was negative. I did. I'm not saying that y'all attacked me. I'm not saying that y'all were rude to me. I'm not saying that, you know, but you were stunned and your first reaction was to talk about how you would shut down. That you made it clear that it was just not a good thing. um, what you were feeling about the fact that I had stepped into Blogger's live. You just did not appreciate it. And you sort of made a hasty, sentiment. But once I tried to explain to you, why I went over there, you brought it down a couple more levels and said, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand now. And so, I may have been wrong, but I was a little bit dismayed because I felt like I had gotten my hand slapped a little bit. I'm not saying that you beat me down, but I just felt like, oh my God, I think I've made Sam upset. And of course you don't know me that well, but I've thought to myself as many times as I have expressed my support, and she's going to assume that I'm trying to run over to Blogger and like betray betray my commitment, to your channel, Sam, and try to ride the fence. I'm not riding the fence. I went over there with the most innocent intent to try to say, look, can you please just stop bothering, you know, Jen and Sam? It's getting old. Can't we just, can't y'all just move on? And you know what? You didn't ask me to be the knight in shining armor. Jen did not ask me to be the knight in shining armor. Nobody asked me to put my neck out. You were talking about you putting your neck out and how that it was, you were betrayed. But, I put my neck out. And nobody asked me, though, you see. So I made that choice on my own. But because I made a choice for what I thought was right, I wasn't given really the space to explain, hey, I went over there to make a plea for peace, to make a plea for a truce, to make a plea for some kind of conflict resolution. Is that at all possible? And Blogger was, unless she's lying, which I'm not saying she was, but she seemed to be interested in that prospect. Maybe the game was just getting old with her. Like you said, Sam, on your video, the game was getting old. Um, but I just wanted to let you know, I'm sorry if it was taken in the wrong light. But and I'm not saying again that you were overly harsh, but I still felt some kind of way. I felt like I had done something really bad. I had betrayed you somehow, or I had, you know, you were questioning my loyalty and my confidence and towards you. I don't know. I don't know. But um, that's not what my goal was. My intention was good. Okay. And it just bothered me because when the little whoever ran over there and told you I was at Blogger's site or on her live, um, I mean, the seed of distrust was there before I even went into the room. So that is what I picked up on. You know, I'm sensitive and I have a heart, and I felt that um, you were like, well, how in the world can you be for me, and but you're going to be against me by going over to Blogger, her live, and I'm going to shut down and basically saying something about blocking, and maybe not just me, but if you basically said during your video, well, I'll just block you if you're going to go over there and support that cause, you know. But um, you know, I don't know. I have a lot I wish I could say. It's just really hard. I mean, I know that you felt some kind of way when you found out I had gone over there. But, and I am making a video in response because you asked me, you said if I wanted to make a video in response to what you had to say, then that's what I'm doing. Um, I just had so many things I wanted to say because, and it wasn't all, contradictory or rude, but I'm going to tell you right now that this nonsense of fighting back and forth, you were making the comment that, everybody, over the years have been bullied and nobody has had enough gumption or enough nomad or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Those aren't the words you use. So please don't say I'm misquoting you because I can only remember content. I'm very bad about remembering fine, minute details of conversation, but I can tell you the meaning of the conversation. And you were like, well, nobody has been brave enough to, stand up to these people. Um, you know, and you were wanting to be the knight in shining armor and try to put a stop to all this. And, you know, just like me, nobody asked you to be the knight in shining armor. I mean, we appreciate, and I appreciate that you want to stick up for what's right, but I wanted to stick up for what was right as well, and um, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but I just feel like that little girl that ran over there and said that about me being at Bloggers, she's riding the fence. I think she's riding the fence, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's playing both sides. And how was I supposed to interpret your dismay? And how was I supposed to interpret the threat of you shutting down? How was I supposed to react to that? How was I supposed to feel about that? I mean, when you said that, do you think I was supposed to just go, um, oh, it's okay, she's basically threatening to cut me out of her life and to boot me out of her channel? I mean, I felt ashamed and intimidated a little bit. Um, and maybe I'm hypersensitive. I don't know. And I think I think I had a knee jerk reaction by feeling that way. But I also feel like you had a knee jerk reaction by giving me the vibe that, oh my God, how could you do that? You didn't come right out and say that, but that's how I felt until you understood. And so I do apologize for not clarifying further that you did indicate that you knew what, you could understand what I was trying to do. But by then, I had already gotten my hand slapped in the cookie jar, and so I was still, feeling the impact of that. And it already hurt my feelings. It already, but it's okay. I'm a big girl. I'm going to get over it. But just because you don't agree with, and I felt that way or whatever, I'm not going to threaten to block you or stop supporting you. I'm not. I don't agree with everything that you say, but I still want to support you because that's from day one, that's what I've done. Um, but I don't have to agree, with everything. And there's a lot of things that I don't agree with that um I mean, it's just we can disagree, but that doesn't mean I'm your mortal enemy, and it doesn't mean that I'm supporting the wrong cause. Um, I was just put on the defensive. And I tried to make it clear that my uh motive was to try to encourage the other side to just I literally remember saying lay down the sword. I can quote that because I do remember saying that. So, I don't know. And then, of course, this deal with Jen. Um, you felt that Jen basically, I don't know. You felt that she betrayed you somehow or another because she chose to eliminate a very destructive force by saying, okay, you know what? Can we just. She basically did what I was hoping everybody would do, I think. Let's let's stop this. Let's come to an understanding. And I guess because you were the knight in shining armor and you had stuck your neck out for Jen, and I don't know all the details, but for some reason you felt that that was a sense of betrayal for Jen to go behind your back, so to speak, and come to terms with the opposing forces. You didn't like that she did that. But she did what she felt was right. You're best friends, but are you best friends when it is, you know, when the situation leans more towards what you want to see happen, what you want to see take place? Is it based on mutual, you know, understanding? Or does it have to be my way or the highway? I mean, Jen made her choice, and you basically expressed that she betrayed you, and you stuck your neck out for her, and you didn't appreciate she betrayed you. And I guess the sense of betrayal was because she had what you called a false peace with Blogger and her clan of followers. Um, and maybe in some respects, as a good friend, maybe Jen could have come and said to you, hey, Sam, look, I'm having this issue to the point where it's really devastating me now, and I just can't do it anymore. And this is what I would like to do. Maybe Jen should have consulted with you. But being best friends does not mean that you own her choices. And her being your best friend does not mean she owns your choices or her, you own your own choices. You know, you can have input with each other, you can discuss things, you can share with each other, you can, you know, um, you can talk to each other more openly if you're best friends about things. And I guess you felt because she did not come to you and disclose to you all, what her motive and intent was. Maybe she just got fed up, Sam, and just threw her hands up and said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this." And you felt like because she didn't come to you and discuss it and get your consent, that somehow she betrayed you. I mean, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong, and I stand to be corrected. I am not trying to be argumentative here. I'm not trying to be mean. I just want to understand. I just don't. I've listened to your video like 3 times, trying to fully comprehend the things that you were saying, and then um, I went halfway through Jen's video when she got the baby that you returned to her. I didn't finish watching it. But I think the deal about the cigarettes, Okay. Okay, wait a minute. I don't even know. Let me just say this, Sam. You're never going to, no matter how hard you fight for the cause. Okay, you're talking about somebody has to stand up and they're messing with the wrong person, and I'm going to do something about this, and I'm not going to stand here and take it and just be quiet and silent about it. You know what? Because other people chose to take the higher road that you despise, that term, does not mean that choice was wrong. That's their choice that they made. That's how they dealt with it. And you chose not to take the higher road. You chose to combat and come back and start slinging insults and slinging, mud and basically doing to them what you felt they were doing to you and Jen, but especially to you, since you and Jen are on the outs now. Okay? And I'm going to be honest now. Your videos that you put out, all these crazy cartoony videos, totally just confused me and made me question your sanity, if you want to know the truth. Because I was like, what in the world is going on? It did not lend itself as to what you said you were doing. You were saying, well, I'm going to dish it back out and see if they like it. I'm going to lend insult for insult and see how they like it. That's not how it came across to me. I was like, this girl is losing her ever loving mind. What is happening? I mean, and I guess I'm just not that bright. I'm not as bright. I'm not as well learned as you are, Sam. I'm not as, I'm not as knowledgeable about things as you claim to be about a lot of things. You know, I just didn't get it. It was freaking me out. I was just like, what is going on? And then, of course, when you did your live video, you explained, excuse me, what you were doing, that you were trying to get them to see what it was like to be, um, tormented and bullied and that type of thing. But that's not going to solve anything. I'm going to tell you right now that um, this business with, a tit for a tat and bullying and disagreeing and all that, it's never going to go away. It's never, you were talking about dealing with this and once and for all, putting a stop to it. Well, honey, it's not going to stop. It's never going to stop. It's just going to be new faces, new people, new situations. This is all going to come to pass and then it's going to come back again. This is what people, I'm sorry to say, I'm not criticizing the community. I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm telling you, you're kicking a dead horse. It's never going to go away. People are always going to be fussing and feuding and disagreeing and misunderstanding, and things are going to be taken out of context, and things are going to be unintentionally done and said to hurt people's feelings. It's just never, you're not going to be able to fix it. It's not fixable. We can only go so far into finding a level ground and finding a truce. Because, and it's going to be, like you said, which I did agree, a false peace. Because what's going to happen, it won't be Jen, it won't be you. It's going to be someone else down the road 10 years from today. It's going to be another girl 6 months down the road from today. Or it's going to be another person 2 months down the road. And it's going to have to deal with a whole different spectrum of issues It may not be based on a comment. It may not be based on name calling. It may not be based on, well, she lied and she said this and she said that. It could be an entirely different factor that's contributing to the conflict, but it's never gonna go away. You can't stop it. You just can't. Uh, you know, uh, I don't know. I mean, these are just my thoughts, but um, your videos, they just confuse me. And I mean, I was like, where is she going with this? And then the normalcy and the maturity and the, I don't know, I just was so honored to and enjoyed so much your communicational value that you share, just to be able to use good words and have such a good command of the English language. I mean, I can't tell you enough how many times I've bragged on that. But that normalcy went right out the window because my perception of what I appreciated about you, Sam, was in question because those videos were just so opposing to what I thought was the person that I enjoyed listening to during when you were doing your videos. And I thought, it's a tit for a tat. Is that the approach that we need to take when there's a conflict of interest or a conflict within a situation? Do we do that? Is that how it's played out? You do a tit for a tat. You throw a rock at me, I'm going to throw a rock at you. That is not going to solve it. Just, I'm not saying that you have to sit there and be abused and not stick up for yourself, but there's a fine line that, and that line was crossed. I'm sorry, it was just really crossed. I don't know. And I stand to be corrected, and I know people are going to hate me for this, and I've already talked almost an hour, and I don't even know if I've made any sense. I just don't know. I loved you. I love you, Sam. I loved you. I loved you. I loved you because I loved Jen. Because you and Jen were best friends. I love Jen. Okay? I love you. I really love Jen. And because I loved her and she loved you and couldn't speak any more highly of you. And even during the box opening of the return of the baby, she apologized for being hasty. She got a little upset and testy, during the opening. But God, can you blame her? I mean, oh my God, it's like she has lost her best friend. She loved you, but you feel like she didn't love you. She betrayed you. But she had to make a choice based on what she thought was right. Just like you made your choices based on what you thought was right. Sam, just because you and Jen didn't agree, it was not worth throwing away your friendship like that. Basically, it was like, if you don't play the game my way, I'm going to take all my little toys and I'm going to pack them up and I'm going to take them home and I'm not going to play with you anymore and I'm not going to be your friend. That, I'm sorry, that's immature. And you don't mind being outspoken and telling people what you think. So I'm telling you, I just feel like that was very sad that you and Jen are no longer friends and that you took your toys because she didn't play the game like you thought and went home, basically, because she didn't consult you or she didn't share with you, as a best friend. I guess you felt she should have been um, more concerned with sharing her decisions with you. But she didn't need your permission. You don't just because you're best friends does not mean that you own her choices. Like I said, you just don't. I don't know. I gotta get off of here because I just don't feel good. And I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm a nobody. I don't claim to be so overly confident that, you know, sometimes being confident and being conceited are two different things. And, you know, the cigarette thing, that's something I want to say real quick. Because you felt that Jen betrayed you somehow or another, whatever, whatever. You basically says, well, she's hurt me and I'm really upset. So I'm going to hurt her back. I'm going to reciprocate the injury. And I am going to disclose her little secret because she hurt me, because she betrayed me. So I'm going to hurt her and I'm going to betray her back. Now, you were saying that all this conversation was swirling around about the cigarette smoke, and in your heart of hearts, you supposedly knew that Jen supposedly was smoking, and you mentioned that blogger asked you, why didn't you come forward sooner? Well, um, the comment that you made was basically, well, I don't know. I can't remember now why you said you didn't come forward sooner, but you did make a point to say that I did finally come out and say, yeah, she's, the cigarette smoke thing because you wanted to betray Jen, because she betrayed you. And that was not, in my opinion, the most mature approach in the world, really. Um, if you knew Jen and then you made the and to me this is a cop out. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. You were like, well, um, when she was I saw the smoke, she made it clear, that she kept everything in bins and plastic bags and la di da di da. But she never said that, never told me not to tell anybody. She never told me not to tell anybody about the cigarette smoke or whatever. So you justified that you could disclose that and divulge that with the sole purpose of hurting Jen, okay, to get back at her. And the cop out was, well, she didn't tell me not to tell anybody. So it must be okay to say she smokes. Whether she does or not, I don't know. I'm just saying that's a cop out, you know. If I divulge private information to you, that I maybe am not particularly proud of, or I feel a little defensive about, which Jen must have felt a little defensive in that she was like, well, yeah, but I use plastic bags and I use, plastic bins and I make sure, and even her tutorial, she couldn't emphasize enough that she washes her hands all the time, before she starts her work with her babies. So her hands are clean and there's no oil or debris or anything. She makes that very clear. She made that very clear. And she told you all this. And despite that, you felt because she didn't come right out and say, well, please don't tell anyone, that I smoke. It'll be a poor reflection on my business or whatever. You felt it was okay. You felt it was okay to divulge that. But you also had a two-handed reason because on the flip side of it, you also told people that because you wanted her to suffer or to be betrayed like she betrayed you, supposedly. And I thought that was really sad. I mean, I really, really was. I mean, so, you know, I apologize. I mean, like I said, if I did not fully give detail to, um, and you said you went back and you read and I'm going to close in a minute because this is ridiculous. It's been an hour, and I apologize. And ladies, look, I'm new at this, but don't kick me in the face because I've only got 5 or 8 videos out. Like, I don't matter. My mess doesn't matter because I've only been doing this for just a little while. I should have got like eight or 5 videos. Who's she? She's nobody special. She's not an artist. She's not in the community. She's not, you know, why in the world she got any say so about anything? What does she matter? And that's where I came into the qualifying characters of what qualifies me as being a part of the community. I've never scammed anybody. I've always been faithful to when I buy my babies. I've always been committed and faithful. I've never ripped anybody off. I could tell you a story that would, the person, if I told you who these people were, with an experience that I had with one of my reborns, it would blow you out of the water. If I wanted to be, hateful, I mean, I've had my share of heartaches and my shares of experiences with this reborn thing. And I may be considered, outdated and, you know, 70 years old, which I'm not 70, by the way. I'm 62, okay? And the girl that kicked me out of Bloggers Live came on my channel the next day and left a derogatory comment. And I knew it was her. I wasn't even surprised because she gave me attitude. She was the only one that I picked up a bad vibe during Bloggers Live. And sure enough, next day she paid a visit and gave me my very first negative comment. But Sam, I just, you know, you're doing what you feel is right. I know that. And you're very confident and you are very strong in your opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to remember that you cannot discredit or shut people out or shut down or whatever, um, and take lightly, you know, uh, you can't make people, I don't even know how to put it. You cannot, just because someone uses a different approach to given situations in life does not mean they totally disregard your concerns or your approach or your solutions to whatever it is that's going on. Okay? We all have to make choices based on what we feel is best because the bottom line is you can love someone and be best friends with someone, but family comes first. Your loved ones, your children, your babies, your little girl that you absolutely love, that is absolutely precious little angel, okay? Sweet little thing that she is. Just like her mama, she's going to be strong and opinionated. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? If you choose, her over a best friend or someone you consider dear to you, there's no question. It's going to be your child. It's going to be your family. And Jen had to do what she thought was in the best interest of her family, you know? And, everyone's like, well, she said this and she said that, and this one's lying and that one's lying, and that's all irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Um, because, the game that I mentioned where you whisper a comment in someone's ear and they turn around and tell the person behind them, and you continually go from person to person, and then the last person stands up and says what was supposedly said. It gets twisted, it gets reinterpreted, it gets rechanneled, it gets influenced by other people's opinions, it gets subverted, it gets diluted, it gets twisted. It's very hard with a bunch of people to try to come up with a scenario that starts at one end and ends up the same at the other end. There's always going to be nuances that are going to influence and alter what is considered the truth. And there's no such thing as a false truth. Truth is truth given via your interpretation of what you feel is honest and true. You know, I what I feel is a legitimate truth, you might question and say, well, I differ. I kind of disagree. This is my truth, you know? But just because we have differences on perspective does not mean that it's like the end of the world and we have to like totally just cut each other out of our lives and just, okay, well, if you go over there, I'm going to block you. If you hang out over there, you support that cause, I'm blocking you. Okay, well, evidently, if you feel that's what you need to do, you have every right to do that. But it's sad because someone who comes to a channel and commits to that channel, thumbs up the channel and becomes a, you know, subscriber. In good faith, they made a choice that they decided they liked you and they wanted to support the cause. And then you're going to turn around and, as a result of their saying, oh, I really like what this girl has to say. Oh, I don't agree with everything she has to say, but I like her. I like her. I want to listen to what she has to say. I don't agree with it, but that's okay because that's what makes life interesting. And she took the time to thumbs up and took the time to become a subscriber. And the thanks that she gets is you're gonna block her, you're gonna shut her out, you're gonna because she disagrees, or because she dared to make a comment on somebody else's site that you just don't agree with. That's called a click. It's called a click. And I don't like clicks. I don't like ostracization. I don't like um we have to be inclusive, not reclusive, but inclusive. We have to allow variety and differences and distinctions to be a part of our lives. Life is short, girl. You're going to be 62 one day. All of us are getting older. And finding good friends is hard to come by. And just to release a friendship over our misunderstanding, I mean, I feel like that there's still a chance that that friendship could be rekindled, and I wish that it would because it really saddens me. It saddens me for you, Sam. It saddens me for Jen, and especially Jen. I don't know why there's a sensitivity with me towards Jen. Maybe it's her health. Maybe there's something with her health issues. I don't know. I'm a bleeding heart. I don't hate you, Sam, and like I said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings. Or I misconstrued or I misinterpreted or I misrepresented. But just because it's not your way, I didn't say it the way you felt that I should have said it, that I was completely in the wrong and deserved to be called out and more or less, like I said, getting my hand caught in the cookie jar. I mean, you didn't thrash me, you didn't beat me, you didn't, kick me out of the room, you didn't block me. I mean, but I still felt a sense of guilt and defensiveness and bewilderment because um I don't know. I guess I felt like that you should have known by my interactions in the past how many times I've mentioned your name in connection with Jen, that you would know by now that I had supported you 100%. And I'm not even going to bother to go into the mess that I know is out there right now. The different ones that are making these videos, that I've got a couple that I need to watch, but I don't even know if I want to bother to comment on it. But I don't feel well, and I hope that, in the morning when I wake up, I have, you know, some positives that are going to come out of all of this. And like I said, you don't have to like me. I understand, and I'm just trying to live my life, and just like you, and I'm trying to delve into this avenue of, sharing my reborns and sharing with other women who love reborns and having a camaraderie. I don't have a camaraderie in my life. I don't have tons of friends that I hang out with, and I value and appreciate the people that have taken time to come to my channel and be a part of my little corner of the world, which I guess you could call it Dollsville, but it's my world. It's the best I can do. It's what I've been given in life, and I just want to love other people and share with other people. And if I'm misunderstood and someone tells me, hey, you hurt my feelings, I'm going to be the first one to apologize. I may not say that I was wrong. I may not say that I was right, but I will apologize because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I am going to close now because I am really, really feeling raunchy. And but this meant so much to me that I felt like I just had to get online and discuss this, and just let everyone know my intentions were well meaning, and because of some of the nuances that took place, I was put on the defensive. um you know like I had done something wrong, and then the other person running over and saying, hey, she might not have meant anything by it. Homespun is over there, blogger. She might not have meant it in an ugly sort of way. She might not have been tattletelling. Maybe she felt she was just letting you know because she was supporting your cause. But it put me on the defensive because I felt like I didn't even have a chance to, you know, um, express what was going on and why I had even gone over there before I felt that I had done something really bad. And then, of course, the comment about shutting down and on it went, and I just felt really bad. I felt like, oh my God, you know, Sam's, I guess she's going to cut me out of her life. Why does it matter to me? But it does matter because I took the time to listen to your videos from the very start, and I took the time to learn to love and appreciate what you had to say, and I took the time to subscribe, and I gave parts of my time in my life to enjoy and listen to your comments. That's why it mattered to me. Okay, so, but I'm going to go. I'm feeling really bad. So, y'all say a prayer for me. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. I hope so. God bless you guys. Love you much. Bye.